Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Williamson County Democratic Party's Meet Your Candidate event. I'm Gina Gunn, your moderator for the event, and it's great to see many people fired up about our upcoming elections. Please welcome Williamson County Democratic Woman President Wanda Bruce Graham, who will open with a prayer. Williamson County Democratic Party Executive Committee member Pam Dyson will lead our Pledge of Allegiance afterwards.
If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and ask everyone to please stand. That way you can remain standing for the pledge. Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Yes. May we pray. Dear God, as we, the Williamson County Democratic Party, come together with Democratic candidates and concerned voters across our county and the state, be with us. Thank you for all who are gathered here and online. We ask for your help so we might be many lights in the midst of much darkness. Give us wisdom as we work with one another. Help us, help our candidates by any means possible, from our time, talent, and financial support. Protect our candidates as they reach out, as they walk in and out of neighborhoods, as they knock on doors and shake hands, telling their plans and stories. Keep us all focused on the task at hand that we may help Democratic candidates get elected to office. Help us to look past differences and recognize our sameness. Let us be willing to stand strong together so evil may not continue to prosper in our state or our nation. Thank you for all who have answered the call to serve your people by running for office to fight hatred, racism, poverty, sexism, and discrimination of all kinds, so a difference may be made in Tennessee, and we might win our state back to true democracy and real compassion for all your people. All these things I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jen Foley. I am the chair of the Williamson County Democratic Party. Thank you all so much for being here today. It's great to see people in person finally, and thank you so much for being engaged voters who care about our community. I'm so excited for you to meet our candidates this evening, and I want to especially point out our slate of Democrats running for county office, because this is one of the largest slates of Democrats we've ever had running in Williamson County. And for some seats, it's the first time a Democrat has ever been on the ballot. So we are making progress here in Williamson County. So let's you know, as I have gotten to know the candidates over the past few months, I've really been struck by the variety of life and professional experiences they all have. And I think they are a true reflection of how diverse Williamson County truly is. And we know, as Democrats, that diversity is a good thing, right? Yes. Because we know that when we listen and learn from other people's experiences, we come to solutions for our challenges that are more robust and more long-lasting and serve everyone instead of just a select few. So I'm really glad and grateful that all of you have stepped up to run this year. Thank you. Now, something that all of these candidates have in common is a willingness to listen, to serve the public, and to make Williamson County and Tennessee stronger and a place where everyone can thrive. So we're so glad that they're representing our democratic values, and we wish them much success. We also know that running for office is never an easy thing, and there is so much at stake this year in 2022. Our candidates need all the support we can give them. So throughout the evening, and you may have seen them as you came in the doors, we have QR codes, signs with QR codes that you can scan with your smartphones, and it will link you to ways to help our candidates donate to their campaigns, help the party, and in particular, we're conducting an issues survey right now because we want to learn what you, the Williamson County residents, are worried about, what you are most concerned about, and what you want our candidates to work on. So when you have time, please fill that out. Great, and of course, we hope you'll donate your time and money to help elect these amazing candidates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jen Foley. And I'm going to give a forward thanks for Chair Hendra Remus when he comes in. We are indeed ready to take back Tennessee. Tonight's program is a time to hear from the candidates who stepped up to serve our community at multiple levels. We will kick off with our only contested race in Williamson County, in the Williamson County Democratic primary. That's on May 3rd. It is the Williamson County Clerk position. The Williamson County Clerk is a Tennessee constitutionally elected official who serves the residents of Williamson County for a 4-year term. The county clerk has many important functions, such as issue new county business licenses, collect hotel, motel, and short-term rental property taxes, issue and maintain marriage licenses, making required records available to the public and other administrative tasks. We'll go in alphabetical order and we'll start with Andrew Becker. Andrew, you have 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you should be our next county clerk.
All right. My name is Andrew Becker. I am running for Williamson County Clerk. I grew up in Brentwood, and I am a proud product of Williamson County Schools, Crockett Elementary, Woodland Middle, and Brentwood High Schools. These are all excellent public schools. I have a lot of creative energy and leadership to offer to my hometown. The late Billy Jim Vaughn, who for 73 years was the Scoutmaster of Troop 1 at the Brentwood United Methodist Church, told me that one day I would become a teacher. Inspired by his leadership, I completed a pair of master's degrees while teaching in every school in the district as a substitute tutor. And presently, I teach math at an underserved school in Metro Nashville where I felt I could make the most difference to positively impact my students' lives. The Williamson County Clerk's Office has some very alarming and troubling reviews. It appears that we have not kept up with the times. On my Twitter page at Becker4TN, that is the number 4, I have collected data on all 95 counties, and this is what I have found. About 1/3 of counties have longer operational hours than Williamson County. Out of the 12 largest counties, we are the only one that does not have a second location. We have one of the lowest rankings of any county in the state of Tennessee. And even little DeKalb County, about an hour east of here over toward Cookeville, has triple the number of online services offered, even though we have 10 times the population. Our problems cannot be put on an eternal hold. Somebody needs to answer the call, literally, because as many who phone the office seem to be automatically disconnected. When elected, I will make the clerk's office pleasant and predictable. I will speak to everyone with humility and respect. We have all waited way too long in line at the clerk's office. To demonstrate my efficiency, I'm going to give back about 1/3 of my time so that you can get back to your work and your families. Early voting starts Wednesday. My name is Andrew Becker, and I am your next Williamson County Clerk.
Thank you, Andrew Becker. Now we will hear from Deborah Sparks. Deborah, you have 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you should be our next county clerk.
Thank you. Good evening. I am Deborah Campbell Sparks. That would be my name on the ballot, so remember that. I am a 5th-generation
Williamson County residents. I do live in Brentwood, Tennessee. I am the person that always called upon for consulting and operations of a building or a major establishment, I should say. With that being said, I believe that I would be the next candidate for the Williamson County Clerk. And as my opponent has mentioned to you, we have both researched it, and I will not reiterate that. We all know that we are running about 10 years behind from other counties. With that being said, I would like to have an open door policy for my community so they can come in and talk to me, not make an appointment, but be able to walk in and say, I need to speak to Ms. Sparks, or I need to speak to Deborah in reference to that. For one thing is that if you don't have an open door policy, I will never know what you are thinking, what you can improve, what we can improve together. And we are trying to develop a task force of the community so that we can sit down at the table and make the decisions. And when I speak of the table, I need a place at the table so I can make a difference for everyone. Without a place at the table, I can't do my job. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah Sparks. We have 5 minutes for follow-up questions from the audience. We will take them as you raise your hand. We may not be able to get to all of you, but we will stick around and be available for questions after the event. Speakers need to come to the microphone and state your name. Make sure you vote in the upcoming Democratic primary election on... Thank you.
My name is Grant Marsh. What is the most immediate change you can make in the county clerk's office to make the experience better for taxpayers, for citizens? To both of you.
On the same page is to cut the time down when you come to get your tags or any type of business that's processing through that office. I think many of us know that you can spend your whole half a day here in Williamson County Clerk trying to get your tags, which is unthinkable. So that would be our first agenda.
Thank you.
I think there's probably 3 things, my own. First thing, we got to get the website modernized. Second thing, we have to make sure that when the phones, that we're able to, respond to phones effectively. And we can't have these long lines. Have you seen on the news where they've had people camping outside here so they could, get their, whatever they need, even some simple questions asked? Tailgating should be for college football, not for the clerk's office.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grant.
Any more? Well, let's listen, learn, and vote. Make sure you vote in the upcoming Democratic primary election on May 3rd for one of these qualified candidates. Early voting runs April 13th through the 28th. It's imperative that every Democrat vote in this election cycle. Next up, we will meet our candidates running for county positions. We will go in order by district, then in alphabetical order. If there is more than one candidate per district, in order to save time, we will go directly from one candidate to the other, starting with District 1. We will take audience questions at the end.
All right, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Laronda Williams, and I present myself to you as the only Democratic candidate running for District 1's County Commissioner position. Thank you. District 1 consists mainly of Fairview, and is the largest district here in Williamson County. But a small percentage of Spring Hill, Thompson Station, Prim Springs, Bon Aqua, Columbia, and Franklin is all composed of District 1. It is my goal that we turn District 1 purple, meaning that we combine the blood of Republican red and the leadership of Democratic blue. There are 2 positions available in District 1, and I hope that in 2022, you take a chance to vote for me as your next county commissioner. One of my main objectives during my 4 years in office I plan to incorporate is a 3-part communication strategy plan. That consists of virtual town meetings, in-person town meetings, and a District 1 website, where you will not only have access to information, but you'll have access to me where you can hold me accountable. So I encourage you on August the 4th to vote and to vote for me for balanced representation, where we have 1 Republican and 1 Democrat representing our district. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Haracas, and I'm running for Williamson County Commission District 3. I'd like to start off by thanking the Williamson County Democratic Party for hosting. Thank all of you for being here and those who are watching from home. I live in Spring Hill with my wife, Dr. Jennifer Foley, and our 3 kids. We've lived in Spring Hill since 2015 and have loved it since the beginning. We've enjoyed all our community has to offer and feel really fortunate that we're able to raise our kids here. I grew up in Inglewood in East Nashville and have been around the construction industry my whole life. My father owned a small plumbing business, and I learned the trade from him. For the past 7 years, I've been designing plumbing systems for large commercial projects in the Middle Tennessee area. I feel my professional experience will be useful in my role as county commissioner when evaluating the feasibility and cost of developments and infrastructure projects. I'm running for office for some pretty simple reasons. First, I want to make sure the people of District 3 have their voices heard when big decisions are made for Williamson County. Second, I want to make sure that Spring Hill gets the funding we need for our schools and our infrastructure. Third, I want to ensure the growth of our community is done intelligently and with proper consideration. And finally, I want to give the people of District 3 the choice of a Democratic voice. I appreciate your support and hope to earn your vote. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bob Britton, and I'm running for school board in District 4. I live in Franklin with my wife, Carlene, and our dogs, Sadie and cat, Lucy. They wanted top billing, so I had to make sure I said that. We have lived in Williamson County for 20 years. I'm also a proud grandfather of twin grandsons who attend Trinity Elementary, 2nd grade. 7 years ago, I retired from my careers in small business and as a corporate executive. I've been active in the community as a volunteer for the Salvation Army of Middle Tennessee, having served on the advisory board for over 15 years. I love spending time with my grandsons. That's my favorite pastime. And because of my daughter is a single mother, and she's been attending colleges for the last couple years, I've been able to watch very closely their educational and social development. I've had the privilege of meeting their teachers, monitoring their own online school program, although that was a challenge, and visiting their classrooms, and I've come away very impressed with the public school systems here. I am running for school board because I'm passionate about public schools and about serving all the children in our community. I believe public schools are a foundational element of our democracy. They provide an opportunity for all children to receive an education regardless of their economic standing, race, religion, or gender. So I have 3 things I want to focus on in my period as a school board member. I want to advocate for adequate funding to support the needs of the children and the teachers and meet the unprecedented growth we're seeing in our community. I want to champion our teachers and support staff to ensure that they're compensated appropriately and are treated with the respect that they deserve. And 3, I want to ensure that the community's diversity is reflected throughout our school system and our programs and curriculum are inclusive. I want to protect and improve the high-quality education we have in Williamson Public Schools, and I also want to be a strong voice for what I believe is the vast majority of parents and grandparents that love our public schools and our teachers. I look forward to your support. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Hale, and I am proud and very excited to be the only Democratic candidate for the Williamson County School Board District 10. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, but I've lived in the Tennessee area nearly 20 years, attending University of Memphis Law School in Memphis, Tennessee, obviously, and then moving to Franklin, Tennessee about 7 years ago. This is the first time I've ever attempted anything like this, a venture of this sort, so it's a little bit undaunting and scary, but I believe in progress. I believe our county deserves diverse representation, representation that accurately represents the district on the school board level. It's very important. I am running because I believe in public funding towards public school education. I am running because I come from a long line of educators. I'm an educator myself. I've taught ancient political theory at the university level in American government. So I know and understand the importance of adequate teacher compensation and benefits. It's very important. And then more personally, I'm running for my daughter, who is a freshman at a local high school here, and for all students who have diverse perspective, backgrounds, and religious beliefs. I am open-minded, I am fair, I am compassionate, and I am eager to learn and listen. I want each of our students to feel included, happy, and safe in our district, and I hope that you will support me for school board at District 10.
Hi, I'm Courtney Rogers, and I'm running for County Commission to represent District 10. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Local elections matter, and this is really important that you're here, so I do appreciate you taking time to be here. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a proud public school parent to a rising freshman at Centennial High School, and I'm a small business owner, and my expertise is in operations and logistics. I started my professional career serving my country as a naval officer, and the most important thing I learned was to take care of my people. We must take care of our people, and that's why I'm running for county commissioner. Our county commission has a pretty simple job. They're in charge of making sure that we have roads and schools and sewers and parks. We also have to have a plan and a budget to make sure that we have all of these things for everyone in Williamson County. This is a great place to live. We've got low unemployment. We have high graduation rates. We have a very business-friendly atmosphere, right? In fact, my family has been here for 7 generations, and I have watched Franklin go from rural to suburban. In 20 years, we'll be the size of Nashville. 20 years. We have to make sure that we have a plan for viable growth. I don't think we have one right now. As one of the fastest growing counties in America, we have to make critical infrastructure decisions to put us on a sustainable path forward. As a community builder and a technologist, I'm ready to take action to expand recycling across the county, bring back inclusionary zoning, use technology effectively, push for additional educational impact fees, and limit tax incentives for large corporations. As your District 10, please applaud, thank you. As your District 10 Commissioner, I will not and do not support the rezoning of the Brownland Farm to a proposed housing development. We have an extreme teacher shortage, the most expensive housing in the state, and yet our county commission makes teachers pay thousands of dollars for their kids to attend Williamson County schools. When I'm elected, that's the first policy that I will change. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Townsend. I'm a candidate for Williamson County Commission, District 10. And I moved to Williamson County in 1992, but I have deep family roots in the state. My grandparents were farmers and business people here in Tennessee. My father retired here in 1982 as a full colonel from the United States Air Force, a veteran of Korea and Vietnam. Now, as for me, I'm a retired pastor, having served United Methodist congregations in Middle Tennessee. I also worked as a public relations director for the Nashville Rescue Mission and as a press secretary for the House Democratic Caucus in the Tennessee legislature when we were still a majority. Yay. My 2 daughters are Franklin High School graduates, and also we adopted them from China as well. Now, as such, I fully support fully funding Williamson County Public Schools from all revenue sources permitted under law in our Constitution. I support ensuring infrastructure keeps up with continuing growth and development. And I support protecting our natural resources from toxic heavy metal pollution and flooding, yes, flooding caused by development. I want to invest in our future, not sell it off to the highest bidder. Austerity is not the answer. County debt is not a problem. We have a AAA bond rating. I want to make it easier for businesses to interact with government, make investments, create jobs, hire more workers, and increase wages, and hold them accountable when they break their promises. I am running because residents want an end to state interference and special interest groups dictating county proposals and policies. So it's time to elect a commissioner who always advocates for the hard-working families trying to make ends meet. The entire county should not be a political gated community with limited access. Vote Democratic in District 10. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Johnna Carter-Haines. I'm originally from Williamson County, born and raised in what I call Hillsborough. Everyone else call it the New Leapers Fork. I have seen the county as a rural area as well grow. I'm running for a county commissioner because our people has been forgotten. In doing my research and speaking with people, it is concerning to them that there is no affordable housing here. A lot of them are moving. Why should they have to move from a place that they love when there is tons of money coming through this county? So with that being said, that's one of my main focuses, to make sure that the money is going where it needs to go. Our housing, our schools, our roads, our people, our families. We need this. So thank you, everybody. Vote August 4th for the meeting.
Hi, I'm Erin Crawford. I'm running for Williamson County Commissioner in District 12. I think we're all up here because we have a calling to serve our community in a very special way, and I believe that our callings come to us through our longings and our discontents. I have never ignored a longing to share my time, money, talents with organizations doing amazing work to empower vulnerable individuals in our community, but my ambition to run for local office was born out of my discontentment. I have been frustrated not having local candidates that reflect my big inclusive heart and progressive values, not having somebody that I felt comfortable to vote for. So I decided to be that candidate for myself, my like-minded neighbors and friends in District 12. So brief bio about me. I grew up in Oakland County, Michigan, which is comparable to Williamson County in that both fall in the top 20 wealthiest counties in the nation and have exceptional public schools. After graduating from college in Ann Arbor, I moved to Los Angeles to start my career and my family. In 2015, my company asked me to relocate here to lead their global music business. I chose beautiful and welcoming Williamson County to buy my home and raise my boys. My youngest is graduating from Page Middle this year, and my oldest is graduating from Page High. There are 3 pillars to my platform. 1, to secure the future of Williamson County's exceptional public schools. We cannot shortchange our community by underinvesting in our county's public schools. 2, to ensure long-range livability in Williamson County. The population of our county will double over the next 20 years, and to support that, we need a new economic and social contract with the people of Williamson County. We need one that supports quality of life and access for all. And 3, I will be a force for good. The character of Williamson County is on the ballot this election, and we must prize all voices. I'll leave you with this. Vote Erin Crawford because she is fresh-thinking, forward-leaning, and for the future of Williamson County. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. Thank you for being here. My name is Laura Stendell, and I'm your only Democratic candidate running for the Franklin Special School District School Board this election. I'm here tonight with my family, my partner Jason, who works for HCA and is also my treasurer, and our daughter, Paisley, who's a second grader and a proud Liberty Lion at Liberty Elementary School.
We relocated here as a family from the West Coast, where growing up we experienced abundance of diversity throughout a multitude of cultures. That's how I grew up my whole life, is in a blended community. And for the last 5 years, we've been honored to call Franklin our home, and we've dedicated over 100 hours of community service as a family, myself serving on the Heritage Foundation's Next Generation Board for 3 years. Moving here, our goal was not just to take what Franklin had to offer, but to give back to it and to learn what it was all about. It was an amazing opportunity to move here, but to be specifically zoned for a district like Franklin Special School District, to me, is a great privilege. Like where I grew up, there's a lot of diversity compared to the broader school district of Williamson County. We appreciate a smaller, more diverse class setting for our child and the particulars of being in a smaller district, which means for us a stronger and healthier collaborative between board and community, teachers, and admin. But first and foremost, I'm a mama. And as parents, we want to feel seen and we want to be heard. I want to walk this educational journey with my child, who will eventually graduate into the Williamson County School District. It's important for me to minimize all the gossip concerning school policies and learn for myself and share how our current board and our future board plan to blend the community concerns within the legal framework that they have to follow and still encourage growth and change. I don't want this just for myself or my daughter. I want this for all of her friends and all of your children and everyone in the community. I believe in being an ally for all families in this community, and I just want to say thank you for your support, because it keeps us brave and it keeps us going. Thank you. Laura Stendel.
All I can say is wow. Wow, wow. I am impressed by all of you. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. And again, I will say, listen, learn, and vote. Thank you all for stepping up to serve our community. We have a few minutes for questions from the audience. And don't forget, each of these candidates' information can be found on the WCDP website. Thank you again, and wow.
Grant Marsh. This one's for the commissioners. So a little bit about me. I was raised here. I graduated from Franklin High School with about 400 kids in my class. There were 400, 500 in the class after mine. In my brother's class after that, there were 500 to 600. That's almost, that's 1,500 kids right there. None of us will be able to live here. None of us can afford to live here. We're all raised here. We went to the schools here. We've worked here. We've fed you people. We have worked in the grocery stores. We've worked in the restaurants. We've worked, I still work just up the street. And I won't be able to live here on my own or even with roommates. It's just really not feasible. There's a community college in the middle of Cool Springs. The apartments around it, completely unfeasible for students. What can you as commissioners do to support affordable housing and ensure that the kids that grew up here can continue to live here and build lives here? Thank you.
Okay. Well, what I would do is, because I have been you, okay? I've been that single mom who needed a home and couldn't afford one. There is money available for affordable housing, but the problem is making them use it for affordable housing. I will be a voice for the people who don't have a voice or think they don't have a voice. So let's get this done. There are properties here that, they're making a killing off of us. But our people, our young people, they're not, like you said, we can't live here. They can't live here. I will be your voice to make sure some of that money gets to where it needs to get within our communities. We will design a plan.
I'd like to add you can't fix a problem until you admit that you have one. And the folks that are currently elected officials, specifically at the county level, are not admitting that this is an incredibly large problem. I mentioned the inclusionary zoning in 2015, 2016. Someone who I will not give them power and name their name decided as a state representative to remove inclusionary zoning. And that means when developers come in, they need to pay a good chunk of money to develop, and a portion of what they needed to develop needed to be affordable and attainable. That law is gone, and I will bring that law back. We need to have the law on our side because we have people living in their cars. I met with the Williamson Homeless Alliance just last week. We have homeless people in Williamson County and no one wants to talk about it. And it's just going to get worse, right? So we have to admit we have a problem and we have to stand up. And I know every person on this stage is willing to take that battle on. So guess what? Y'all have to vote for Democrats in both the Democratic primary and in the general. That's how we get this done.
All right.
And I want to be able to add as well, because I want to think about forward thinking. When I moved to Williamson County, I love Franklin, but I can afford to live in Fairview. Okay. We need to start preparing our young people to start thinking ahead instead of today and present. One of the things that I want to be able to incorporate is working with our educational system, incorporating plans where not only we open up those lines of communication where we educate you on those grants and on those loans and those funds are available to help take care of you, but in addition to providing extra and different ways of educating our young people, including culinary arts, including HVAC, including programs where they start their freshman year, and when they prepare by their senior year, they graduate with an associate's degree to walk with a culinary arts degree to become a kitchen manager where they can start making 38 to 42 a year at 19 or 18. Or they can walk out with an HVAC education making 21, 25, 32 an hour. So there are ways that we can start the process. And like my team members have said, start by voting Democrat. Start by voting with a party that's open and humble enough to communicate even when things are unpopular, to let you be apprised and aware so we can move forward.
My name is Candacey Wade, and I am District 12, and thank you so much. But this is for all of you. And first of all, I have to tell you how articulate and on point you all are. I'm so proud. Truly. It's a thrill. Infrastructure. We've brushed upon it. As we know, there's so much growth going on. What are some of your plans? What are some of your first steps to really approach our infrastructure problems? Do we have or could we have a program where the developers who are going to make the money on all of this development step forward and participate in the infrastructure? If they're going to put a lot of kids in a lot of new houses, we need schools, we need roads, we need traffic lights, we need all of that. So brainstorm for me. Tell me what you're thinking. Thank you all so much.
So yes, I believe that our developers do need to play a role in investing capital in our infrastructure. It's not only the schools and the roads, but also fire stations, essentials that we need to support and pull in all of those resources. And I think developers are the best place to go for that. In addition to, so the developers should also be contributing to our schools. We have 4 or 5 new buildings of schools that we have to pull teachers into. So all of that in the population that they're rising here I do believe that we should force the developers to pay a large portion of that.
I think to add to that, I think one of the things that people most often forget about is what I do for a living. Provide potable water, safe drinking water, and removing the waste from the stream and protecting our homes and businesses from flooding. So a big part of that is smart choices and zoning, and just taking a good hard look at our infrastructure that we don't see every day. It needs to have some focus on it too, and I think I could help with that. So that's it.
I know there's a 5-year plan here where they're sort of incorporating the development of new high schools and sort of adding on to the high schools and middle schools that are already here in elementary schools. So I do think if you're coming into the city and you're part of this development and growth, I don't think it's too much to ask, just like you said, for these developers to become involved with that. I mean, I think we're on the right path with that 5-year plan, but I think that we all need to kind of be involved to make sure that that continues and that we develop that a little bit more and, make sure that it continues as is. So, yeah.
So what you're hearing people talking about are educational impact fees. And if you've been paying attention the past couple of years, there's a lawsuit, actually. The developers sued the county, right? And so right now, there is not an influx of cash coming in through the educational impact fees, and that's something that needs to change. And again, just like our inclusionary zoning, we don't need to be afraid to step up and do what's right and fight back. And I think the folks that are serving us now have been there far too long, and they're getting real comfortable, and they're buddy-buddy with the developers, and it's time for new blood. And the people up here, we have no problem saying we're not okay with this. You do need to pay your part to build a house. If you're going to build a house, where's the school? Where are these kids going to go to school? And those conversations cannot just be brushed under the rug, which they have been done for at least the past 5 to 8 years. Nothing's being done. So guess what? Get rid of the people who are in office now and elect new people.
Hi, my name is Katie Edwards, and I would like to address those running for school board. And I am concerned about the book situation in our county with the banning, and now that Epic has been pulled from our schools. And I would just like to hear your views on that issue. Thank you.
That's a loaded question. I think that we need to prepare our students for the diversity that the world presents. I think that we need to give them the facts and the facts as they are, and without any kind of any kind of persuasion one way or another. And that's a discussion the parents need to have with their children. I think we need to present things as how they are. And that may include topics that are uncomfortable. I mean, I think they need to be age appropriate, obviously. But that sometimes may include things that are a little bit uncomfortable, but that are part of just sort of our diverse fabric of this country. I mean, they're going to be out there, with different kinds of people. And I think it's, important, because I'm a parent myself, that, they read these books, they have these discussions in class, and they come home and we talk about it and implement our values with it as well. So I'm concerned with that as well. I'm concerned with that as well.
Yeah, I thought it was so ironic and so sad that the week that we're celebrating National Library Week, we have a small minority that cancels a library, shuts a library down. 40,000 books in the Epic app. And these are books that are used by our teachers to do their lesson plans. These are books that the kids are loving reading. My grandkids talk about the application. They'll be able to get books. And we have the minority that made this happen cheering on that they won. And who lost? Who lost was our kids lost for a week or longer. Our kids aren't going to be have those books to have access to. Our teachers won't have access. This is shocking to me, and something that we need to work on. And I believe that what we're doing here is we are really, I mean, I guess the best way to say it is we're hurting a kid's ability to learn and to be human beings that live with everybody, you know, and that are comfortable with everybody. We're hurting that by these kinds of behaviors. So I'm very concerned, and that would be something I'm going to be focusing on. And I believe the majority of the parents within our community don't support this. They do not support this. So we need to help them stand up and get their voices heard.
My name is Christopher Peake. You can tell people that if they're a home ec major, they might grow up to be a United States Senator. You know? I'm here to present a service to all of you candidates. What is your message? The key to you all sitting here and speaking to us and going out and making your pitch for votes, what is your message? It's not a complicated question that I'm asking. It should be a simple, uncomplicated answer that you're giving. What is your message? Each of you is doing something individual. Each of you has something that you really like above all other aspects of your campaign. So, I'm a former television reporter, and when I said this to a group of friends for CNN, who were Republicans, I told them that I'd worked for CNN for many years overseas, and they booed me. They booed me. In any event, my whole career has been, what was my message as a television reporter? As all of you watch television, there's a certain amount of time you have to tell the story. It's generally 90 seconds to tell your story. Collect the facts, get the sound bite, give the message, and that's it. You don't have 91 seconds. If you have a second left, well, you've given it away. So, I will help you all craft your message. I'm not here to develop your message for you. I'm not here to change your message. I am here to help you encapsulate your message. What makes you different from other candidates, or what makes you unique. So, at the end of this really wonderful presentation from all of you, I will give you all a two-pager on my resume, who I am, why I think I can do this to help you all, because I've done it before, and what you can look at to help craft your message individually. So I'm sitting right behind this beautiful lady with a WCDP t-shirt, and if you'll come up to me afterwards, I'll be glad to talk with you and give you the information that I brought, which I know will help you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's me again, Candacey Wade, District 12. Yes, Margaret, it's me again. When I moved from California to Murray County, we were able to stop a development in our area that was really bad news, and it never got built. We were able to get an animal shelter built because we were a little power of people that could. We're here hearing all the things that you're going to do for us, but you need our help too, besides voting for you. We all can help you. We all can do this. We have to get our little groups together to help you. So I guess my two questions would be, once you all get in, how can we help you do your job? Because you're just one voice on the panel. And those of you, unfortunately, that do not make it in, how can we make life really difficult and push through your agendas for the people that are still warming those seats.
Dr. Foley, do you want to talk about what everyone can do for the party? Because the answer is support the Williamson County Democratic Party.
Yes, for sure. We are a growing party. We have a lot of engaged volunteers, Christopher is one of them, who want to help all of our candidates. We always need help too, because we are just volunteers, we have lives, we have careers, and we can't do it all on our own. So the QR codes that Damon has, you can scan them, you can sign up to be in our newsletter, make a donation to the party. We have links on our website to the candidate pages, so you'll be able to find their information there. Go and support their campaigns by volunteering, knocking doors, making phone calls, and donating to their campaigns. And then once the election's over, we have to raise our voices. We have to be writing and engaging with our elected officials and telling them what we think. We have to be showing up at the meetings, not just letting the loud people show up and make their opinions known, but we need to be engaging as well. So I'm glad you're all here. It's a great, exciting first step to the 2022 election season, and we're going to keep the momentum going. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for all those great questions. Next up, let's meet our candidates running to represent Williamson County at the state level. We'll start with District 61 and then finish with District 92. Again, we will have time for questions at the end.
Okay, hello. My name is Steve Cervantes. I want to thank you for coming out this evening. I'm running for District 61, House of Representatives, and I live right here in Franklin. A few years ago, I actually had the opportunity to visit Franklin, and I immediately fell in love with it. I was drawn to the education that we've been talking about tonight, the community values that we all enjoy, and the quality of living. You know, and it's funny how things happen, because it was almost like fate. Right after I returned, after my visit, I was actually offered a job to work with a company here in Brentwood, and I immediately accepted it. I knew this was the place I wanted to be, without hesitation, and I said, I'm there. And I've enjoyed my time here. But like we've been talking about tonight, what's concerned me is that there seems to be an attack on our values and our education system, everything we talked about tonight. And so I think it is imperative that we support our teachers in our schools. We have to allow these interests to stay away from our books and what we say, so that we can protect our families and enjoy the life we live. And I love what we talked about tonight with affordable housing. And what I've seen, and we've all experienced, is this growing gap between affordable housing and our income levels. And I appreciate, I was a poor student as well, I worked my way through. So it must be disheartening to grow up in a community you love and not be able to afford to live there. So I think some of the things we need to do, and this is why I got involved, this is what it's about. And if you have these similar fears and concerns and want to overcome these obstacles, that's what I'm here for. And what I think, though, is that a lot of us, we speak, but no one's really listening. And this is the pledge I make to you tonight. I will listen to you, and I will represent your values for reasonable legislation for meaningful change. My name is Steve Cervantes. I'm running for House 61, and I will be your representative. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, good evening. Hello, and thank you. I'm Kesha Davis. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 loving boys, both at Page Middle and Page High. And for the last 10 years, I have been your next-door neighbor. You can often find me running mile after mile through our beautiful subdivisions and our neighborhoods, on our city sidewalks, and through our parks. I've decided to join this political race because I've been concerned about the ability to vote for representation for your values and mine. We need diversity and inclusion. Professionally, the last 20 years or so, I've worked in healthcare. I've had a chance to talk with providers about healthcare issues and diseases that impact your family and mine, such as childhood cancers, men and women's cardiovascular health, infectious disease, and addiction. I'm passionate about my job because it gives me the opportunity to talk about what's broken in our healthcare system and healthcare reform. Courtney, I understand. When I get elected, the first order of business is to fix that law from that representative. We've talked about that housing and affordable housing, and that is my first order of business. Thank you. I'm Kesha Davis, running for the Tennessee House District 63. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Angela Hughes. I'm running for Tennessee District 92. I live in Marshall County, and a small part of the Spring Hill and Thompson Station area will be part of that District 92 now. And I'm a single mom with 2 grown daughters. They are independent, and I'm a retired General Motors employee. And I'm looking forward to representing everybody in this county and Marshall County. With all the issues that I've heard this evening with schools, infrastructure, the need for affordable housing, I am very familiar with. I have seen this when I grew up in Georgia. I saw in Lilburn, Georgia, the same thing. Fast growth, the unaffordable housing. As a matter of fact, I graduated with over 1,000 students in my school. I was going to school, high school, with a double session. I attended high school from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till 5 o'clock in the evening. Those are some of the struggles that both counties will be looking at. And also, like y'all all said, affordable housing. It is a very important thing that we have to look at, and I'm looking forward to serving all of you with these 3 people here. Again, Angela Hughes, Tennessee District 92.
Okay, again, I'm wowed by all of you. So let's give our candidates a round of applause again. Thank you for stepping up to serve our community by running for state representatives. We have 5 minutes for questions from the audience. And don't forget, each of these candidates' information can be found on the WCDP website.
I'm Damon Rogers, and I am so excited to have somebody to vote for. I am born and raised right here in Franklin, Tennessee. I married a career naval officer, and we voted absentee for 30 years, but I never missed a vote. But I never really had anybody to the right person to vote for. So your courage in coming out and running, I just tip my hat to every one of you. This is so exciting. I do want to speak to the audience because something fun happened today. I'm sort of a social media queen, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but my children are teaching me. And I have had 3 phone calls today going, we so appreciate that you are sharing on all the social media sites. We have got to get loud. We don't have to be mean. I'm going to always be nice. I'm a Southern lady. But we have got to use our voice. And I don't care if I can't vote for you. I'm going to share your page on my social media. And people are calling me and saying, thank you. We don't even know who's running. This is a lot of people out there this time. But we don't know who's running. And these are not Democrats that are calling me. And that's what's exciting, is that we are getting people that are so tired of their party looking at the Democrats to vote for. It is so important to vote primary and general in the Democrat Party. It helps us build our data. Y'all are probably going to talk about it, but I'm taking over anyway. It helps us build our data. It helps quite frankly, none of us know. Let the Republicans work out their problems. It's not up to us Democrats to work out the problems of the Republicans. Let the crazies win. I guarantee you the Democrats will beat those crazies. So stay out of the Republican race. Vote Democrat. Thank you.
Mama, and is it Miss Margaret who was speaking earlier, asking what you expect from us? It's to be a proud Democrat. Because when I moved here, the first thing I told Jason was, we're going to stick out like sore thumbs from California. And that's a big lie. I feel like everybody's from California, and everybody hates us. And just recently, I was fortunate enough to be connected to another advocacy group here that I didn't know about. And y'all, I'm on all the social medias. But I do understand that 80 to 90% of our viewers are on social media. And that is a hard stop for a lot of us. I understand that. But we need to promote not just each other, but all of these groups that we can get connected with and feel proud to share their information. Because we felt like when we moved here, we were alone. And it took about 5 years for me to go, no, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person with this opinion. We have Pride now. We have all these other events that are happening that people still don't know about. So be a proud Democrat. And if you're getting stuck and hung up with the social media, I understand that. But I always say if you get stuck somewhere, there's somebody you can pay to do that part for you because they like to do it. And just ask somebody. We are happy to show you how to share where the majority of our audience is looking every night at 8 o'clock when they lay down to go to bed.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. We're really excited to hear from two candidates who are running for U.S. Congress in District 5 and 7, both of which serve parts of Williamson County. Just as we've done all night, we go in district order and save questions to the end. So I'm going to start out with a statement I'm going to share from Heidi Campbell. Hey, everybody. I'm really sorry that I couldn't be here tonight. Believe me, I'd much rather be with you than discussing whatever crazy legislation we're discussing on the floor tonight. My colleagues in the Democratic caucus, who are all amazing legislators, by the way, and fight for us every day in ways that you can't possibly imagine. My colleagues and I often remind each other that our state will be much better off when we're not in session. And that's really sad. When you think about it, what that really means is that one of the greatest challenges facing our state is our legislature. At some point, I'd love to talk with all of you about what is going on with TISA, our tax dollars, and the controlling party's plan for our future. But for now, I'd just like you to know that it is because of what I am seeing that I am determined to hang on to our 5th congressional seat. We know this will be a tough race, but it's a race worth running because there are major forces working against our families. It's going to take people coming together from all walks of life to prove that we won't let our communities be defined by rigged maps and predetermined outcomes. Please reach out to me if you'd like to join our campaign to continue the process of taking back our state. From the anti-democratic radical cult together, we flipped the first seat in 2 decades, from red to blue in our state, in our Senate. And together we're going to hang on to Tennessee's 5th. Thank you. We'll move on.
It's me? Hello? All right. Hello, everyone. Let me try to this out your way. Odessa Kelly. I am running for U.S. Congress in District 7. District 7 covers a little bit of this county, parts of Nashville, Montgomery County, and about 11 more counties on top of that. I am a Nashville native, born and raised. To the gentleman who was asking about what is your message, it's simple. I'm running for U.S. Congress to defend democracy. You know, I think I'm the epitome of the, thank you. Thank you. I believe myself to be the epitome of the American dream. I was born in the hood in East Nashville before it became very bougie. You know, even though I do like it now and I'm still there, you know. I heard a person talk about one of the things you hear all the time here in Franklin is that people love the educational system, right? Well, I'm fighting to make sure the educational system that's in Nashville and other parts of the country are just as good as it is here. Right? Here I am, a person who grew up with Tennessee State University. I got a job working for the city government for 14 years. Went back to school after I had 2 kids, and then mama here knows that you spend the first 7 to 8 years just trying to keep them alive, right? I went back to school to get my master's just to find out that if I stayed on this job that I loved and it was important, I might be in debt for the rest of my life from the college debt that I just occurred, and I'll never be able to own a home in the neighborhood that I grew up in. I'm the executive director of Stand Up Nashville. We're the reason why soccer is in the state of Tennessee. We fought to make sure there was affordable housing, that there were wages, and to make sure that people were being heard. I think the biggest issue that we have in Nashville, in Tennessee, and Franklin is the same across the country. We have people who are representing us and do not have a shared experience of what 99% of the people are going through. So I'm running for this seat. I am going to win this seat, and I'd love to have your help in doing it.
Thank you. We have so many incredible candidates to support this year. We have 5 minutes for questions from the audience. They're all for you, Odessa.
We recently moved back to Williamson County. We had lived here, as some of you are very familiar, and I appreciate all your hard work. I'm excited, though, to see the diversity that's happened on the board from when I lived here before. So, you know, that's really cool. And I just, if you could help us out, maybe by giving us some personal information, a sheet of some sort with your names on it, with your hearts, you know, what is important to you and what are you going to stress, you know, in the community. I think that would be a real door opener. Some faces are familiar that I've seen before, but so we can help you be successful. Send out your information. I know I'm dying to do something. So, you know, help me out, guys, and give me somewhere to go. Thanks.
County Democratic Party. All of this information is on our website. Every candidate's information, and remember, there's a couple of contested primaries, so we don't have the folks who will be running in the general yet. But all of this is on the website, and we send out a weekly newsletter every week that is sharing all this information. So as candidates get us things, we will make sure that you get things as well.
Last but not least, let's hear from the candidates running to be next governor of Tennessee. We will be going in alphabetical order, and we will open up the floor for Q&A afterwards. Begin.
All right. Good evening, Williamson County. I'm Jason Martin. It's really nice to be here with you guys tonight. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am and how I ended up here. I'm a husband to Jennifer. She's with us in the audience tonight. I'm a girl dad. I've got 3 girls at the house, ages 15, 13, and 10, including a new driver, so watch out, Williamson County. And I'm a critical care doctor in Middle Tennessee. So I've been on the front lines of health care for 20 years in this state. I've not been a politician, but I felt drawn to advocacy and then politics this cycle after seeing staggering losses in the intensive care unit up in Sumner County where I work. Being a party to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deaths, many of which I feel like were preventable if we had had an ounce of truth-telling and an ounce of leadership from Governor Bill Lee. And I tell you what, The lack of leadership that we experienced during COVID is pervasive across the state in so many areas, right? Let's talk about public education. How are we 46th in the nation funding our public schools per capita, per pupil, when we're sitting on billions and billions in a rainy day fund? Why can't they be as proud of fully resourced teachers in schools as they are of that money? And that's the heart of the problem. They don't care about the people they are charged to serve. They're more interested in politics. That's why we're passing up $1 billion a year for Medicaid expansion. That's why we are, attacking our neighbors because of who they choose to love. That's why we're locking up primarily black and brown Tennesseans for small drug offenses. We have so much work to do. We can do it together. Let's get Bill Lee out of there in November, ladies and gentlemen. Our campaign has been doing the work. We've been to all 95 counties. We've logged 17,000 miles in the state of Tennessee, not only going to the urban centers, but going to red Tennessee, because it turns out that red Tennessee and blue Tennessee want the same things. They want education, they want jobs, they want health care. Let's do it together, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone here deserves a huge round of applause for stepping up to run as a Democrat. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because I didn't, you know what? I apologize. I thought you were with him. I'm so sorry.
Talking now. Okay. There we go. Good evening, Democrats. We know we have to do that again. Good evening, Democrats. All right. I am J.B. Smiley Jr. And to be honest with you all, I am just like you. We all saw needs in our community. We decided to step up. Some of us volunteered. Some of us sought public office. Some of us went into the classroom to help our young people learn and develop skills of critical thinking. But I'm also a native Tennessean by way of Memphis. And I can hear my parents saying, don't come into a room and not mention us, so I will tell you about them. I am the product of Jackie Smiley. She grew up in the state's poor zip code in the projects of Memphis. I'm also the product of J.B. Smiley Sr., who was a Mississippi sharecropper and an Army soldier. Two things that my father taught me as I was growing up. He would tell me that never forget the bridge that brought you over, and also to put service before self. When I was a young person, I did not necessarily know what that meant, but the older I became, that message resonated with me. It's one of the reasons I went to law school, so that I can be a voice for those folks who are in my community, the poor zip code in the state, that didn't have the privilege to go to law school and advocate for themselves. It's also one of the reasons I decided to step up and run for city council. See, my district is one of the most diverse districts in the state as it relates to socioeconomic status. I represent 350,000 people, half the city of Memphis, that have the poorest zip code in the state, and also one of the wealthiest. So we have to really work hard to balance the needs of the people. I pause for a moment when I speak about the people because the gentleman out there said, what is our message? And I hope it's the message of every person in this room. It's about the people. Now, go ahead. The reason I talk about the people all the time is after having the opportunity and the honor of my life of serving on the Memphis City Council, I realized one thing. I've never seen a Democratic pothole. I've never seen the lights go out on only a Republican community. What I have seen and what I have experienced is people in my district suffering and needing leadership to step up. I know I'm running short on time, so I'll end it this way. I want you all to imagine a Tennessee that affirms you no matter how you identify or who you love. Imagine a Tennessee that supports you no matter which part of the state that you call home. Imagine a Tennessee that supports small business owners, black and brown business owners, and women-owned business owners as well. That is the Tennessee we are all fighting for. If you're ready to join this fight with us, I ask you to go to our website and join our team. Vote J.B. Smiley. Again, I am Councilman J.B. Smiley Jr., and I'm running to be the next governor of the great state of Tennessee.
Well, everyone deserves a huge round of applause, and please forgive me, Mr. Smiley. We have another guest that is here, Hendra Remus.
Well, is it okay if I
Go
take
right
the mic?
ahead.
All
I'm
right.
so sorry.
Well, I know you all just gave a round of applause, so let me ask you again to give these great folks a round of applause. I'm absolutely honored to serve as our Democratic State Party Chair and to be here tonight and hear so many strong Democrats really carrying the pail for those values and ideas that we believe in is extremely, extremely, extremely important. To each one of you, thank you for stepping up to do what so many people are afraid to do, especially in red counties. Thank you for being willing to be proud Democrats, and thank you for being willing to put your name on the line for this party. We're going to do everything we can to stand with you. To all of you who are in this room tonight, you all have an opportunity, a very, very unique opportunity. You get a chance to show the state and this country that Williamson County is more than just a group of misguided moms on a self-proclaimed mission of liberty. That Williamson County is more than just a group of radical extremists who want to disrupt school board meetings and dismantle our educational system. That Williamson County is more than just the home to the most corrupt Republicans in the state. You get a chance to show this state that Williamson County is a place of good people with decency who has values. You get a chance to show that Williamson County is a place where viable Democrats can be Democrats and win. You, each and every one of you in this room, coming here tonight is just the beginning of stepping up and being proud of what this party has done and will do. You all have the power to make the difference. It's not just the people that's on this panel. It's not just those of us who have the titles. It's each and every one of us in our communities. Because if we don't step up to do it, if you don't step up to do it, if you don't feel empowered, if your coworkers, your classmates, your neighbors, your friends don't feel empowered enough to want to put the decency back into what it means of public service at the core of everything we do. At the core of everything we do, Democrat or Republican or independent, even libertarians, it should be about making sure that we're protecting and providing for the lives of ordinary people. At the core of all of this, there's real people who these decisions will impact on a daily basis. And we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to take a governor, who many of you may call a neighbor. We have an opportunity to take a man who ran for governor as this holier-than-thou figure, but then unleashed absolute hell on the lives of people across this state. We have an opportunity to send him back home to Williamson County, to you all. We have a chance to take the guy in the robe who the FBI has got a microscope on. We've got a chance to make sure that he don't have the luxury of his warm robe anymore. And we have an opportunity in a couple more years to send your favorite Blackburn back down to you. But it all begins with elections like this one. It all begins in rooms just like this one. It all begins with us being willing to knock on a few more doors, make a few more phone calls, and push a little bit harder. Because what's at stake is more than just what happens to us as individuals. What happens to our communities? What happens to our future? And no one should have to pass their neighbor in the grocery store and be afraid to say hello because that person has decided to go off the hinges with the fringe. No one should be worried about having to look at a "Let's Go Brandon" sign hanging across the street while they're trying to do their lawn. No one should have to worry about if their vote is going to count and if they are going to matter. But if we don't step up, if we don't do our part, then the people on this dais, the folks who are willing to put their names on the line publicly, then they'll never be able to deliver the results that we need. So thank you all for being Democrats. Thank you for the support that I know you'll give these great folks. And again, thank you all for stepping up and running for office.
Okay, we're going to go back because we didn't give the gentlemen that are running for governor a chance to do Q&A.
Today is Dr. Martin's 47th birthday, so can we just tell him happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Oh, no problem.
Glad to celebrate with you guys.
So we'll go back to a Q&A session for you, the two of you gentlemen. And again, I want to apologize to J.B. Smiley.
No worries. We were waiting.
Marsh. This is for the state level candidates and the federal level candidates. Cannabis has been in the news recently with the state looking at a Delta 8 ban. I'm in liquor sales. I'm planning on being in liquor sales. That is very closely related with cannabis. There are some, liquor stores that are selling Delta 8 products. That's going to affect, it's a $100 million industry in Tennessee. I know people that work at two stores that say that they are going to close if that Delta 8 ban goes into effect. So what is your general stance on cannabis and specifically with Delta 8 since that's been in the news?
I will attempt to chime in if my mic will work.
Don't push that button.
So just ignore the button completely, all right. So in the city of Memphis, I think a couple years back, we attempted to decriminalize marijuana, and we know that our friends in the state came knocking pretty quickly and told us they would sue us. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's time that we allow these old laws to leave them in the past and we move forward to a more progressive society, more progressive Tennessee, which is we are legalizing marijuana. It has to be done. And in addition to that, we're talking about revenue we can use to build our old infrastructure, revenue we can use to support homeless communities, revenues we can use to build more affordable housing. Thank you.
Yeah, Councilman, we're on the same page.
Absolutely.
On that issue. I mean, we need to legalize cannabis, period. And there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, first of all, talking about the tax revenue issue you mentioned, Colorado, which has 1.5 million fewer citizens than we have, they make $400 million last year on cannabis revenue. So let's tax it, let's regulate it, let's give our farmers a crop, let's give our veterans with PTSD or our patients with chronic pain or anxiety, let's give them a medical option, right? And let's also talk about the criminal justice angle that goes along here. We're locking people up for small drug offenses, and that's wrong. Let's take those legal resources, that law enforcement resource, and use it more productively in other places. Thank you.
Hi, it's Kesha Davis, Tennessee House, District 63. I know we have the doctor and the lawyer who just responded, but I too have been in healthcare just under 20 years. And I tell you, cannabis is not the issue when it comes to like the healthcare regarding medications. I communicate with doctors just under 20 years, and for them, this is something that will help thousands of their patients. As the doctor mentioned, there's chronic diseases, even in children's pediatric oncology. There are medicines under study right now that would help save a child's life. So I too support cannabis use in the state of Tennessee.
Hello? Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's why I'm in full support of it as well. As a lot of people don't understand the differences in between the levels of legislation. As a federal candidate, I will be pushing forward. That way you move all the barriers out of the way. It'd be great if we have a gubernatorial person or the state legislative to be able to remove it as well, right? The issue is a lot of times, sometimes, the reasons why things don't get voted on in the state is because you want to protect it not being preempted you know, from a group of people who don't want it to happen. But also, too, we have to do it in a very intentional way. You know, right now, I can't name the number. Y'all know of black and brown people who have been locked up for cannabis use. Yet, when it comes to us legalizing it, we also have to be intentional about who will have revenue, who will have the opportunity to build pathways out of poverty into the middle class and further than that, you know, within this industry. You know, and I think that's one of the issues that I think they're looking at in Colorado and other areas. So yes, do I think it's an opportunity for us to, like, you know, let's really be Democrats and let's really be liberal in this country and see where these things take us. But let's be intentional about making sure that we can actually help the people who need the help as most. When we think about the infrastructure bill that we passed, what would it have looked like if we would have been able to lock into the infrastructure bill the ways that we build, that we reduce recidivism rates, you know, the ways that we build pathways out of poverty is for individuals to be able to, like, integrate into how we build a country to where we're not just, you know, building another stream of revenue, but we're also building something that is intentional for all.
I do believe that is it. We have a few minutes, and we're going to have our chair, Dr. Jen Foley, wrap up the event. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you all again. Thank you to our candidates. Thank you to our audience members, and especially to those who have asked questions. We're having great discussions here in Williamson County about how we can make our county stronger and our state stronger. So thank you very much for all being here. And especially thank you to TNDP Chair Remus for being here as our special guest. We appreciate you. And also, I want to thank all of the WCDP volunteers. You see them in our blue shirts. Thank you all for helping us plan this event. I think we did a pretty good job, don't you? Yeah. So we will be having more events throughout the election cycle. We'd love to have more in-depth forums with our gubernatorial candidates and our congressional candidates. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Follow us on social media so you get the latest news. And that's it. Thank you all again so much for being here tonight.
Except for I missed him.